welcome back to Dopes Customs. Sorry for the temporary hiatus. I've been busy with other projects and doing many other things, so much so that we end up selling the sand rail. Got offered a price that I couldn't refuse if you'll pan down and take a peek at what I bought with the lovely compensation from the sand rail. But nevertheless, Dopes Custom, we're still here doing fabricating and building different things and whatnot. Yeah, more so than ever before. We just haven't been videotaping it like we should be. So we're going to try and get back around and get back to doing that a little bit more involving you, the YouTuber. But at any rate, what we're going to be doing and taking on for this project is a heat recirculation system for a zero clearance or a regular masonry fireplace. Most fireplaces are inefficient, with only about 10 or 20% of the heat actually being used, on top of the air within inside the dwelling being ate up by the all-consuming fire and send up the flue. So what we're going to try and build is a set of tubings and a grate system that will pull the heat from the fire as it draws air through the tubing system via convection. No blower motors, none of that extra stuff, just natural. And we're going to take and plumb it up from the crawl space beneath, cold air. As it gets heated, as it runs through the pipe and transfers through the tubing, it's going to heat up and blow out into the room, filling up the available airspace with fresh fed air from the crawl space beneath, so we're not burning up as much of our inside air, and it'll be warming the room at the same time, actually making the unit more efficient. So if you want to stay tuned, watch some videos up and coming. We're going to show you some more fabricating and such, and give you a good idea of what's happening, going on, maybe something that you might be able to do. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Dopes Customs. We're working on that heat recirculation system, and I wanted to show you the main piping system that is going to be conveying the air from the crawl space, heating it up, and shoving it back out into the room. You'll pan down to my workbench here. You'll see the tube assembly here. This is essentially the bottom. There's another tube that come down from here that will come into the crawl space. Where the air is drawn up from the crawl space through this tube, where the logs will be sitting in the base of the fire, heats up, comes up through here, across this section here, get reheated again as the hot air passes up through the flue, and then comes out of the end of this tube out into the living room. The idea behind the convection system is that cold air falls, hot air rises, they're different sized molecules. And so what's actually forcing the air is the fact that it's expanding within inside of these tubes, and as it is expanding, it is shoving more air into the cavity and sending it up and out as hot air rises. And being that we're going to be drawing it from a cold air space, whatever your regular root cellar would be, I would suppose around 54 degrees, there's going to be a large temperature difference and change. So the air should actually move through this unit at a pretty good pace. We'll only know that when we're done. But I'm getting ready to do some fabricating, some welding on it. Just keep watching. Hello, welcome back to Dopes Customs. We're a little further along in our project. Last you seen was getting ready to weld up the tubular shapes. We've done that, and now what we're doing, or what we have done, is welded our steel plates on the bottom side. These are our risers, or what essentially will be the carriage that holds the logs in place as they burn. I'll show you quickly what we're getting ready to do. There's the piece as it sits. This being the bottom of the unit, this being the bottom plate for the fireplace. What we do is we have 4 of these set up that are going to actually be drawing the heat and pulling it to where it needs to be. We're going to take and set these down here so evenly spaced and tack weld these where they're supposed to go, and then finally finish welding them up. And what it'll do is hopefully as the logs burns down, it'll get a nice bed of coals and along here to distribute the heat evenly. But like I said, get a nice bed of coals and everything. Hopefully with the metal setting up with a riser like this, that it'll deliver the heat to where we want it to go, and also make it pretty easy to scoop out the ashes left over, the remnant wood particles and whatnot. So hopefully what you'll be seeing next is us putting this together and something that resembles what I want it to be in the end. So stay tuned. Hello, welcome back to Bill's Custom. Well, we finished welding our pipes to our plate, just kind of give you an idea of what it's going to do and everything, how it's going to look. Still have to do our downward facing pipes and our flanges that we're going to put on it, but the majority of it's welded into plates, the base plate where it's going to fit in the chimney, and you can kind of get an idea how the heat's going to, or the cold's going to suck in through the bottom and heat up, and as the flame front comes up and pour the air back out. And this is essentially where your logs are going to sit as the fire goes on. This is like your rack, but there'll be a little bit of tweaking here and there. As you can see, not all of them is quite even up in the top, so we'll do a little bit of tweaking on those to get them right. And like I said, we got some more pieces that go from here that go down, and that's where it gets its fresh air draw from the root cellar. But as you can see sitting here, this is the basic gist of it. Keep tuning in.